Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Arcane Odyssey video. I'm Balba. In this video, I'll be doing a trade value tier list. A lot of people are asking for this, and I haven't seen any other YouTubers doing it. So yeah, I pretty much got a bunch of top traders to pretty much make a tier list for you guys. I personally don't trade crazy in this game, but I can say from my trading experience, this list that they put together is very valid and will definitely help you guys while trading. So yeah, before we get into the video, I just want to say, if you guys are looking for a guild and ever see the one Roblox 1234 in your lobby, that is me. I'm in the Lost Pirates, which is made by a YouTuber named Territory. I'm sure you guys all know him if you watch Arcane Odyssey content. If you guys ever want an invite to the clan, just find me in my game and then ask for it, or just DM me on Discord and then we can join each other's lobby or whatever. My Discord is just Balboa9953. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, just like and subscribe. My current goal is 1,500 subs, and let's get right into it. So the first thing that you guys are obviously wondering is, what items do I have in this tier list? Because as you guys know, there's thousands of items in this game. I'm pretty much only including the top items. Any random items don't really provide much value. But yeah, I'll be providing a lot of items. But yeah, this is the actual list that I have for this video. So as you guys can see in this video, I'll be talking about Headless, the Sunken Sword, Sunken Armor, Arc Spheres, Amulets, Kinged Armor, the Element Cannons or just ship parts in general, Tron Scrolls, the TIE Saber, Pulsar Scrolls, Argos Weapons, Kinged Accessories, Argos Gear, Hard Scrolls, Karina Drops, Merlet Drops, Poison Tooth, Axe Scroll, Swift Scroll, King's Armor, Vindicator, and Elias Drops. But yeah, that's pretty much the items that I'll be talking about. Now let's actually go and rank them. I'll be starting off on the lowest tier and go to the top. Alright, so in D tier right now, I have the King's Weapon, which is the Triosta, which is his trident that he drops, and then I also have Elias Drops. Elias Drops includes his armor, all of the weapons. His weapons is the Stormcaller, the Scimitar of Storms, and I believe there's one more, the Spear. But yeah, those are all D tier. They do have some trade value compared to like a bunch of other stuff, but for this tier list, they are at the bottom because of how good the other stuff in here is for trading. But yeah, for the C tier, so we have Karina's Drops, which is like the little arm bracelet thing, which is actually quite good for trading, which is really surprising. It's because of the stats on the armor. And then next we have the Merlet Drops, which is the Sanguine Dagger, and then the Silent Blade. For some reason, both of these have a lot of trade value because people like really fast weapons. Next are the Axe Scroll and the Swift Scroll. People just want these because they're good. Swift Scroll, I believe, ups attack speed on weapons, and I personally only really use it on my boat to make my boat go faster. And then the last thing in C tier will actually be the Vindicator. The reason why the Vindicator is here instead of B tier is because the value is really up and down right now. Sometimes it's a B tier trade item, sometimes it's even a D tier trade item. It's very weird right now, so I just put it in the middle and put it at C tier. Alright, so the next thing is B tier. This is where the items start actually getting pretty good for trade value. So the first thing is going to be Argos Weapons. This includes a Halberd and Lance. Depending on the person that you're trading with, they could consider this as an A tier and you could get more value out of the trade. But I feel like the general person doesn't really value these weapons too much, considering they can't even wield them. So yeah, those are going to go in B tier. The other thing in B tier is the rest of the King's Armor. Later on, I include things like the armor, the cape, and all that. So yeah, pretty much all the the helmet and a bunch of random stuff like the leggings. That is what I consider the rest of King's Armor. The other thing is Argos' armor / accessories. This is really good and I highly recommend getting them because they are really insane for your build, but they are also quite cheap to actually obtain. And then the last thing will be the Hard Scroll. The Hard Scroll is for defensive builds, so a lot of people value it pretty high, and I highly recommend, if you have one, to trade it because a lot of people are looking for them, especially right now. A lot of these items will go down, like the Swift Scrolls, the Hard Scroll. All those will go down in value once it's later on in the game and people really don't need them anymore. But right now, because a lot of people don't have them, it's quite hard to actually find someone that doesn't want it. And then moving on to A tier, this is where the items start actually getting really high in value. And I highly recommend getting these, or at least farming for them from the bosses. But yeah, the first thing that I'll be talking about is seasonal items. So if you guys didn't know, for testers or something, there are seasonal items which include some Halloween ones, some other ones. But yeah, pretty much these have a lot of value. So the ones that I'll be talking about here is actually going to be like the Plague Mask. There's, I believe, 3 or 4 different colors. The Mummy set, and then there's also the Pumpkins. These are all pretty decent. I believe the pumpkins have the most trade value compared to the rest. but they're all in the general A tier value. Oh, and keep in mind, this tier list is not organized. These are just the places that they are. So for example, C tier, how it has Vindicator at the very bottom, is probably at the very top. I just didn't rank it entirely because the game is so early on. A lot of these values are going to change in the future, so I didn't want to put it all in one dedicated spot. But yeah, the next thing in the A tier is going to be the Poison Tooth. You get the Poison Tooth by the Poison Jaws, which is actually quite hard to find. I've ran into way more white eyes than the Poison Jaws. But yeah, pretty much you just kill Poison Jaws, and then you have a chance to get the Poison Tooth. It has quite a decent amount of trade value. The next thing is going to be the TIE Saber. If you guys didn't know, I already made a video on how to obtain this. It's actually quite easy to obtain, but a lot of people don't want to reset their rep to actually obtain it, so they are trading for it. So yeah, it has quite a decent amount of trade value. If you don't have one already, I recommend just farming for it, because the trade value for it, and it's honestly a bit overpriced for what the weapon is. And then the next thing is going to be the Strong Scroll. The Strong Scroll is the most versatile enchant scroll. It's pretty much needed on everything, so that's why everyone is trading for it. They need it for their weapons, their gear, whatever, because everyone wants more damage. So that is why the Strong Scroll is in A tier, because everyone's looking for it right now. And then the last thing in A tier is going to be ship parts or elemental cannons. So this includes things like magma cannons, poison cannons, anything like that. That also includes magic rams. A lot of those have a lot of value, but this can also include some other normal ship parts, like some holes or even cells. Some people have been looking for the hemp cells, I believe, the ones that are super fast. So if you manage to get hemp cells with Swift, I would assume someone would trade for it. But this is mainly talking about the actual cranium weapons, like the ram and the cannons. But yeah, now to get into the S tier, this is where a bunch of items start getting crazy expensive and really hard to obtain. So the first one is going to be the Pulsar Scroll. If you guys didn't know what the Pulsar Scroll is, it pretty much just changes your magic and makes it stronger. So a lot of people are looking for it. It's mainly good for mages though. It does have a very limited amount of people that are actually going to be willing to trade for it. And then the next thing is going to be the King's Armor, Crown, and the Cape. These are all interchangeable, but the one that stands at the top out of these three is definitely going to be the Crown. The Crown provides the most value out of those, but the King's Armor and Cape do still have a lot of value. The next thing is going to be Fair Power and Defense Amulets. Now, the Power Amulet is way more expensive than the Defense one, but the Defense one is still an S tier. I would put the Fair Power at like the very top of S tier if I was actually ranking them, but both of these are very good. If you are looking for them, I highly recommend you actually pick one up, because you will need them pretty much throughout the whole game until they add better and stronger ones. But yeah, this is what everyone's looking for right now. I highly recommend you trade for one. The next thing is the Arc Sphere. I don't really know much about the Arc Sphere. I've only gotten one once, but it does have a lot of trade value because it's so rare to actually see in the game. I'm assuming most people don't even know what it is, but pretty much it's a little magic ball. I don't know what you actually do with it. If you guys want a whole separate video on the actual Arc Spheres, then I can do that, because even I don't really know what it does. And then the last thing is going to be Sunken Armor. Sunken Armor is 1 in 2,000 chance to actually pick it up from fishing, and this is definitely at the top of S tier by quite a mile. It's just not good enough to go into the S plus tier. So Sunken Armor is pretty much the best armor in the game. Everyone's hunting for it. If you can manage to get it while fishing, then you pretty much have ultimate trade value in this game, and I highly recommend trading for it if you get the chance, because it's going to be amazing for any build that you want to run. And now for S plus, there's only 2 items in here. The first one is going to be Headless. Headless is a seasonal that is way more expensive than the rest, because just like the actual Roblox one in the catalog, everyone wants it. It's highly rare to get. But yeah, Headless, if you can run into someone that's trading it for cheap, I highly recommend you pick it up. And then obviously the last one that pretty much everyone expected is the Sunken Sword. It is the best weapon in the game pretty much for a lot of builds. Everyone's hunting for it. It is by far probably even more than the Headless. I would say it's probably the highest valued game. I would say it's probably the highest valued weapon in the game currently, and by far the highest valued item overall. But yeah, this is pretty much the whole tier list if you guys want to give it one last look. But yeah, this is pretty much just a entry value tier list. This isn't going to stay the same because obviously it's only like 2 or 3 days into the game, and I wouldn't go to this tier list in about 2 or 3 weeks because obviously they'll probably update by then. But for now, this is the tier list. I highly recommend using it as a guide, just a general guide. to get items to trade better. But I will say, at the end of the day, it's better just to trade for items that you want. Me personally, I've definitely traded like TIE Saber for Elias drops just because I wanted them more. And I've also had like 9 TIE Sabers. So it really just depends on what you're going for. But yeah, I pretty much just recommend you trade for what you actually need for your build, because at the end of the day, trading isn't like GPO in this game, and it's not the biggest factor about this, but it is definitely fun to trade. But yeah, if you want some trading discords, I just recommend joining VTEX. I believe Territories gonna make trade servers, and my own server has will have trade servers as well. So join any of those to get some trades. And yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, and yeah, let me know down in the comments what video you guys want next. Later on today, I will have a ship guide, pretty much just telling you guys everything to do with ships. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.